Welcome to Health 2660. Here we don't just talk about health, we tell the stories that heal. Now please listen to the story. Mary had always been a diligent guardian of her health, a habit ingrained from a young age. At 62, she believed she had mastered the art of balanced eating. Her meals were meticulously crafted, each plate a testament to her dedication. Brown rice replaced white salads, overflowed with leafy greens, and lean protein sources took precedence. Fat was the enemy, a silent saboteur she vigilantly avoided. Eggs were particularly vilified, banished from her diet years ago, due to the prevailing fear of cholesterol. A few times a week, she even practiced light vegetarian meals, hoping it would support her heart and keep it healthy. She religiously followed every piece of advice she encountered in health magazines, in wellness blogs, creating a fortress of healthy habits around herself. Yet, despite her earnest efforts, a subtle shift began to occur, a creeping change that defied her carefully constructed defenses. Over the past year, Mary noticed a disconcerting blurring in her vision. The world, once sharp and clear, seemed to be gradually losing its definition. At first, she dismissed it as a normal sign of aging, a minor inconvenience easily remedied with stronger reading glasses. But the blurring persisted, worsening with each passing month. Reading, once a cherished pastime, became a source of frustration. After only a short while, the words on the page would begin to swim, the letters merging into an indistinct mass. Her eyes would ache a dull, throbbing pain that radiated from her sockets to the back of her head. Using her phone, too, became an ordeal. The bright screen, which had once been a window to the world, now felt like a tormentor, its light intensifying the discomfort in her eyes. It felt like a thin, persistent fog was settling over her sight, dimming her perception of the world. Sometimes, the harsh, unwavering blue light emitted from her phone and computer screens became almost unbearable, piercing her eyes like tiny needles. But it wasn't just her eyes that were betraying her. A strange, insidious mental fatigue had taken root in her mind, clinging to her like a persistent shadow. It followed her everywhere, clouding her thoughts and slowing her reactions. Even after a full night's sleep, she would wake up feeling drained and sluggish, her mind heavy and unresponsive. It was as if her brain was wading through a thick, viscous fog that never lifted, hindering her thoughts and dulling her senses. Simple conversations, once effortless, now felt like a monumental undertaking. She struggled to follow the thread of discussions, her mind drifting and losing focus. Words seemed to hang just out of reach, eluding her grasp. Her memory, once sharp and reliable, grew weaker, betraying her at the most inopportune moments. She would forget names, misplace objects, and struggle to recall even the simplest of details. It was a constant battle to stay present and engaged, a battle she was increasingly losing. At her recent medical checkup, the test results showed a slight increase in her cholesterol levels, not dangerously high, but enough to discuss. Your cholesterol has slightly increased, but overall, you're doing quite well, Mary, the doctor said with a kind smile. Eggs aren't really the problem here, as long as you're choosing good quality ones. Just stay mindful of your overall balance and keep monitoring. But despite his reassurance, Mary still worried. Maybe I should keep avoiding eggs, just to be safe, she thought to herself. But deep inside, a seed of doubt had begun to sprout, a nagging feeling of confusion and uncertainty. I've been avoiding fats and eggs for years, she thought, her mind replaying the countless sacrifices she had made in the name of health. I eat whole grain salads, all the healthy foods. Why do I feel worse instead of better? The question lingered in her mind, a persistent puzzle with no apparent solution. She felt trapped in a paradox, diligently following all the rules, yet somehow failing to achieve the desired outcome. One afternoon, seeking answers and perhaps a glimmer of hope, Mary attended a small nutrition workshop at the local community center. The workshop was advertised as a forum for discussing healthy eating habits and dispelling common dietary myths. The speaker was a retired nutritionist, a man with a wealth of experience and a passion for promoting holistic well-being. He had traded his sterile office for the tranquility of a small organic farm, where he now cultivated nutrient-rich foods and shared his knowledge with the community. He opened his talk with a simple, provocative question, his gaze sweeping across the room. How many of you are afraid of eating eggs because of cholesterol? A hesitant silence filled the room, followed by a gradual raising of hands. Mary's hand was among them, trembling slightly as she acknowledged her long-held fear. The speaker smiled a warm, reassuring smile that seemed to invite open discussion. Today, he said, his voice calm and confident, I want to show you why eggs might actually be exactly what your body needs, especially as you age. He proceeded to dismantle the conventional wisdom surrounding eggs, carefully presenting the scientific evidence that supported his claims. He explained the vital role of choline, a nutrient abundant in egg yolks, in maintaining optimal brain health. Choline, he explained, is essential for building acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that plays a crucial role in memory, focus, and mental clarity. Without sufficient choline, the brain struggles to function effectively, leading to cognitive decline and mental fatigue. He then turned his attention to lutein and zeaxanthin, the golden pigments that give egg yolks their vibrant color. These powerful antioxidants, he explained, concentrate in the retina and lens of the eye, protecting them from damage caused by harmful blue light emitted from screens. They act as natural filters, shielding the eyes from the damaging effects of prolonged screen time. Moreover, they help prevent macular degeneration, a leading cause of vision loss in older adults. By reducing eye strain and headaches caused by long hours of screen time, lutein and zeaxanthin contribute to overall eye comfort and visual acuity. He also highlighted the importance of vitamin A, present in egg yolks in the form of retinol, for maintaining sharp vision and helping the eyes adjust to changes in light. Retinol plays a crucial role in the visual cycle, enabling the eyes to perceive light and dark effectively. He further emphasized the benefits of vitamins D, E, and K2, which work synergistically to protect nerves, heart, and bones. These essential nutrients contribute to overall health and well-being, supporting various bodily functions and preventing age-related diseases. And finally, he spoke about the natural omega-3 fatty acids found in pasture-raised chickens, which reduce inflammation, nourish blood vessels, and support brain tissue. Omega-3s are essential for maintaining cardiovascular health, reducing the risk of heart disease and stroke. They also play a vital role in brain function, supporting cognitive performance and protecting against neurodegenerative diseases. Mary listened carefully, absorbing every word with rapt attention. The speaker's explanations were clear and concise, supported by scientific evidence, and presented in a way that was easy to understand. However, one lingering worry remained, a persistent doubt that she couldn't quite shake. But what about cholesterol? She asked, her voice hesitant but determined. The speaker smiled again, anticipating her question. Most of your cholesterol comes from your liver, not from food, he explained. Your liver produces cholesterol regardless of your dietary intake. In fact, eggs actually help raise your HDL, the good cholesterol, which helps remove LDL, the bad cholesterol, from your arteries. He further clarified that whole eggs have a low insulin index, meaning they don't spike your blood sugar, like many low-fat, high-carb foods often do. High blood sugar levels can contribute to insulin resistance, which can lead to weight gain, type 2 diabetes, and other health problems. He continued, "What many people are missing isn't less fat, but the right fats, and the fat-soluble vitamins that keep your brain sharp and your eyes strong." He looked around the room, his eyes meeting those of each attendee, conveying a sense of concern and understanding. So many people think they're eating healthy, with whole grains and low-fat diets, but without enough choline, lutein retinol, and omega-3s, the body slowly runs dry. The brain tires, the eyes weaken, energy fades, and people are left wondering why they feel so exhausted. For Mary, everything suddenly clicked into place. The pieces of the puzzle, scattered and confusing for so long, finally came together to form a coherent picture. She had followed every heart-healthy rule, meticulously avoiding fats and eggs, but in the process, she had unknowingly starved her brain and eyes of the very nutrients they needed most. She had been so focused on avoiding a perceived threat that she had neglected to provide her body with the essential building blocks for optimal health. That night, Mary made a decision, a firm and resolute commitment to change her dietary habits. It was time to challenge the conventional wisdom, to listen to her body's needs, and to embrace a more holistic approach to nutrition. She resolved to reintroduce eggs into her diet, not as an occasional indulgence, but as a regular and essential source of nutrients. She sought out a local farmer who sold true, pasture-raised organic eggs. She learned that pasture-raised chickens, allowed to roam freely, outdoors produce eggs with yolks that are significantly richer in lutein retinol and omega-3s than those from conventionally raised chickens. She made sure that the hens were not fed GMO corn or soy, opting for eggs from chickens that were nourished with a natural and wholesome diet. Their yolks were a deep amber, a visual testament to their nutritional richness. Every day, Mary started eating 2 to 3 whole eggs. She experimented with different cooking methods, preparing them gently to preserve their nutrients. She soft-boiled them lightly, pan-seared them, and scrambled them with fresh herbs. She paired them with greens drizzled with extra virgin olive oil and colorful vegetables, creating meals that were both delicious and nourishing. Gradually, she reduced her intake of refined grains and processed carbs, replacing them with whole, unprocessed foods. Within just a few weeks, small but significant changes began to appear. The blurring in her vision began to recede, and she could read again without strain. Her eyes no longer ached after a short period of reading or screen time. Each morning, the brain fog that had plagued her for so long lifted a little more, allowing her thoughts to flow more freely and her mind to feel sharper. Conversations became easier, and she no longer struggled to recall names or simple details. Her memory improved, and she felt more present and engaged in her daily life. Even her skin started to look rosier and healthier, reflecting the improved nourishment she was providing her body. After 6 months at her next medical checkup, the results surprised even her doctor. Her cholesterol levels were stable and healthy, defying the conventional wisdom that eggs inevitably raise cholesterol. Her HDL, the good cholesterol, had risen further, reducing her risk of heart disease. Inflammation markers had dropped significantly, indicating a reduction in overall inflammation throughout her body. And her vision tests showed real improvement, confirming the positive impact of lutein and retinol on her eye health. With a gentle smile, Mary reflected on her journey, marveling at the transformative power of simple dietary changes. Sometimes, she mused, the things we fear are exactly what our bodies need most. Eggs weren't my enemy. They were nature's gift and my missing piece. She realized that health is not about blindly following rules or adhering to restrictive diets, but about listening to one's body, understanding its needs, and providing it with the nourishment it requires to thrive. If you've ever worried about foods like eggs, she thought, take a moment to learn their real story. Challenge the conventional wisdom, question the prevailing myths, and seek out reliable information. Sometimes one small change can awaken your body in ways you never imagined, unlocking a new level of health and vitality. Health 2660. Thanks you for listening. We'll see you in the next video, and until then, be kind to yourself.